The history of Meridian Consolidated School District Number 101, located in Mounds, Illinois. Before we can begin with the history of Meridian School District, we must first start in the beginning with the county, Pulaski.
Nestled in the deep southern part of Illinois sits Pulaski County. Founded in 1843, it is situated along the Ohio and Cache rivers. The neighboring county is Alexander, where the once big and booming city of Cairo is located at the confluence of the Ohio and Mississippi rivers. Pulaski County was named in honor of Casimir Pulaski, who was killed at the Siege of Savannah in the Revolutionary War. The history of Pulaski County has some imperfections dating back to before 1860, when a fire broke out and the records were lost. In 1940, Pulaski County reached its population peak of 15,650 residents. In 2023, that number was 4,911. Located in the county seat of Mound City, Illinois, is the Pulaski County Courthouse. Constructed in 1912, this two-story brick building has a combination of battlements, post and lintel, and Doric architecture. It was once at risk during the Great Flood of 1937, where the water levels reached the second floor. Remodeled in 1964, it is on the Illinois Historic Preservation List. The county seat moved to Mound City, Illinois in 1865 from Caledonia, Illinois, which no longer exists as a township or a precinct. According to the Illinois Regional Archives Depository, the precincts of Pulaski County have never been adopted as townships, although they are referred to as townships by the locals. With a total of 11 townships, they are America, Grand Chain, Karnak, Mound City, Mounds, Olmsted, Perks, Pulaski, Olin, Villa Ridge, and Weetog, with Mounds and Mound City being the largest. Mound City, Illinois is located at the southern end of the state. Its neighboring city, Cairo, is the most southern part of Illinois. Mound City was incorporated in 1857 as a union of two cities, Mound City and Emporium City. The credit of its founding is given to Major General Moses Marshall Rawlings. The first record of Mound City was in 1812 by two families that fled the earthquake in Tennessee and found themselves along the territory of the Ohio River, now called Mound City. The name Mound City comes from the Native American mound on which the city was built. The Mound City Railroad was built by private interests before the Civil War to connect Mound City with the Illinois Central Main Line at Mounds, Illinois, the Mounds Junction, some 6 miles away. Mound City has some Civil War history. Cairo was made the Union Naval Station for the Mississippi River Squadron, but it had no land for its base facilities. In 1861, at the start of the Civil War, the city was forfeited to the Union government, and the marine ways, along with the railroad depot, warehouses, and other river frontage, were handed over to the U.S. Army. Several ironclads, rams, and various other elements were erected here. The most famous of the ironclads being USS Cairo, USS Cincinnati, and the USS Mound City. In addition, Mound City also housed a large Civil War hospital. The hospital was converted from a hotel and a foundry. Due to the large number of deaths, the United States National Military Cemetery was established in 1864.
There's so much history in Pulaski County that very few people know about, and it's a shame. We can start back with the Buffalo Tannery that was on the Post Creek, northeast of Grand Chain. You can follow it by, some call it Fort Wilkersonville, others call it Cantonment Wilkersonville, which at that time was the largest Army station that the United States had. Lieutenant Colonel David Strong was the commanding officer at the time. Indians weren't too happy that either group was there, regardless of the years they were there. You have that, and you move to the Mound City area, Mound City National Cemetery. It was started as a cemetery because there was a Civil War hospital at Mound City, and they had to have a space for those that they couldn't save. So
I read that it was converted from a hotel and a foundry.
that was the hospital.
The hospital.
Down close to the river so they could pull in their paddle wheelers and unload.
Mounds, Illinois is located in the deep part of southern Illinois, just 8.3 miles from Cairo, Illinois. Once called Beechwood and later changed to Mounds, it flourished and grew from the railroad system, specifically the Illinois Central Railroad, according to the August 1919 Illinois Central magazine. It was about 1891 that Mounds began to aspire in the commercial world. What put Mounds on the map was when the Illinois Central Railroad Company finished its Monmouth Railroad Bridge, which spans the Ohio River just north of Cairo, Illinois. Before the fall of rail revenues around 1931, Mounds was once known as Little Chicago. Retail businesses of all kinds prospered. Modern school buildings, churches, and banks were built. It was a prosperous little city.
Yeah.
I can tell you about a school by the name of Levings.
Levings. Tell me about Levings.
Levings was a one-room school. You turn off at 37 to go down to Dam 53, and if you turned north, there was this one-room school about a fourth of a mile off the road. My dad had been transferred down to U.S. Logan Dam 53. I went 1 week in third grade to Grand Chain. I was not accustomed to a teacher walking around the classroom with a ruler, swatting kids on the back of a hand for little or nothing. I was crying every day that I went home. That school was still open, so I spent third grade in a one-room school. We became closely knit, and those of us that are still living have still remained friends from that 1 year.
During the years between 1927 and 1935, there were 56 school buildings located throughout Pulaski County. By 1943, there were 47 grade schools and 7 high schools in Pulaski County. Many were located in the towns, but most of them were located in rural areas. These rural schools flourished until the late 1940s. We will focus on the school in the 2 major cities, Mounds and Mound City.
Ledoan Patrick Powers.
All right. And how long have you worked at Meridian?
I have worked at Meridian since 1976, but I've been involved with Meridian since January of 1969.
All right. So have you always been a nurse at Meridian?
No, I've worked other places that just got me ready for this.
But I mean, at Meridian, you've always been a nurse at Meridian.
Officially, yes, but I've also been a parent. I've been a board member's wife, and I've been a board member's mother.
Although there are records of one-room schoolhouses across Pulaski County, the first to be documented was in 1857. A wooden structured schoolhouse was built on Walnut Street in Mound City. General Rawlings, who is credited for the start of the city, donated the lot and $50 for the construction. The Great Fire of Mound City in 1879 destroyed the building. Although the school was moved to other buildings to ensure that the education continued, they needed a new school building. In 1891, the McKinley Building was built, also known as Mound City High School. Later in 1921, it adopted the name Mound City Community High School. This was considered the Caucasian school. A year later, in 1892, the Lovejoy School for African Americans was started. It served elementary and high school students. Sometime in the 1950s, another building was built for the 5th through 8th graders named George Washington Carver, known as Carver Junior High School. Lovejoy closed its doors in 1962, and the students moved to the Mounds Community High School, McKinley Building. Around 1920, Mounds Township High School was established and existed for around 6 decades. It cost $80,000 to build. It was the Caucasian school in Mounds, Illinois. However, there are accounts of a school being introduced in Mounds around 1909 and adopting the name Mounds Township High School in 1914. In approximately 1964, Mounds Township and Douglas High Schools integrated. Records indicated that Douglas Mounds Grade School and High School were established around 1920, and it was the African American school in Mounds, Illinois. It is known for being the most competitive school in the area in the Southern Illinois Colored School Conference, with accounts of its closing in 1963 through 1964. The building was demolished in 1981 when the new Meridian Elementary School was opened. It was used as a unit office and storage for the Meridian Community Unit School District 101 until its end.
Douglas was a high school,
Uh-huh.
and Douglas was also an elementary building. It was two buildings.
Oh, two buildings. Okay.
It was two buildings that were side by side.
Okay.
In those days, that's way back, the students, the community, and families was just one big happy-go-lucky community. That didn't mean they didn't have their problems.
Right.
But everybody pitched in. Everybody was a family. Everybody was concerned with what was going on in that building. They were concerned about all children, not just their children, because every child was their child. You had all kinds of activities. The main thing was the basketball, the sports, and stuff like that. And with Douglas, there were children that came from Pulaski. They came to Douglas.
Okay.
That was after the schools in Pulaski closed.
Mounds Thistlewood Grade School housed the Caucasian students in Mounds, Illinois, grades 1st through 8th. It closed its doors around 1981 when the new elementary school was built. Students account for remembering fire drills where you had to slide down the fire escape, but you didn't want to be first. Although Meridian Community School District number 101 was established in the year 1964, the current building didn't open until the 1968-1969 school year. Photos from the Meridian 1967 yearbook anticipating the open of the new school building. Consolidated on January 25, 1964, with the start of construction on the new building in 1968, Meridian Community Unit School District number 101 was the new way of education for Pulaski County. The junior and senior high building has 35 classrooms, and the building covers 68,000 square feet. The towns in this consolidation were Mound City, Mounds, Olmsted, Pulaski, and Villa Ridge. The original Meridian Elementary School building opened its doors in 1981. It was condemned due to black mold on October 4, 2013. This created a problem. Where are the students going to go? They came up with a unique schedule. All students pre-K through 12 went to school in the current high school building and on a split schedule. Grades pre-K through 2nd and 7th through 12th went to school 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. noon. Grades 3rd through 6th attended 12 p.m. noon to 5 p.m. The superintendent at the time, David Rademacher, was quoted as saying, "It was very hectic." The following year, they moved 2 modular classrooms onto the property, and the elementary students attended school there for 2 years, but everyone was back to a normal school day. The new Meridian Elementary building was opened in 2017, and it is connected to the junior and senior high building.